Part 118. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziwei. Chapter 1181. Chapter 1181. Who is the gift? Oh! Is there still a great treasure fish here? It seems that this time I really came to the right place, but this can give Zhang Sunjing and Zhang Sunziru a gift. A white man in snow-white butt stood on the edge of a cliff and looked at a faint silver light in the distance. Reveals a smile. The man is more than 30 years old, his naked body is long, and his handsome face is a little indifferent to lust-like indifference. The deep swords under the star brows are shining with the spirit of the world. The straight nose and the proud mouth of the mouth make him feel like a high mountain. Some external things, as long as they are well decorated, can make a decent appearance, but this kind of strong great treasure power that is naturally scattered from the bones is not installed. After talking about a surging sound, the man in the white game snow-white butt, plentiful god as jade fluttered in a leisurely manner. A white divine light forms a strip of white spray under his feet, striding through the void. After the white man's sharp and violent fluttering, 3 buns like hills appeared in front of him, which was the Feeling Mountains. But what surprised the white man was that the location of Feeling Mountain was quiet and there was no sign of great treasure. Bake snow-white butt, I like intercourse to eat, on the contrary, there is a surging sound coming out of the forest. This brother, it is very hard to see you, and you come over to eat a barbecue. This white man is obviously also a great treasure of the artist. After the brow wrinkles, he swept the direction of the surging sound. Soon he saw Weisuo, who is still in the middle-aged cultivator. A barbecue in front of a fire. Because there were too many people eating before, the naked body type is not small, but there is no meat, only one bone shelf is left. Anyone at Backfire Union has been dealt with by you. Seeing Weisuo holding a branch in the lush barbecue, this white man is very popular with the world, and his face is still a look of lightness. You are the great of Sky Black Union treasure can? Since I am here, you don't need to hide your identity. Of course not. In this way, you also intercourse out of the body, and then take off the shapeshift great art clothing and give it to me. We are good brothers, and I will tell you all, Weisuo said to the white man, a smile. Even the old guys like Zhang Sunjing and Jade Heaven Sect don't dare to talk to me like this. It seems that you are the new person that Zhang Sunjing invited. The white man glanced at Weisuo and said indifferently, it is better for you to kneel down to me now, and then eat the skeleton next to it. I will let you live a path. That is to say that you are not eating meat and eating meat. Weisuo shook his head. That will only allow you to eat this bone shelf. Yes, then see if your true ability is a great treasure for the devil. The white man smiled coldly and reached out with his right hand. Shua! 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 For a moment, the white man pointed out 7 bloody red swords that were 3 feet long and smothered Weisuo. Every sword light comes out, it is a strong great treasure of the origin chi fluctuations, it is obviously a separate surgery shapeshift great art. The white man's shapeshift great art can be said to be amazing. At this moment, the general cultivator may only cast a Dao technique shapeshift great art at most, but the white man is evenly cast out. 7 Dao technique shapeshift great art. If the general cultivator is against the white man, I am afraid that it will not respond at all. If I have not had time to cast a Dao technique shapeshift great art, it will be cut into several pieces. Life-taking blood sword? Sky sword sex shapeshift great art, you are really, but what people simply can't imagine is that Weisuo shook his head in the face of this white man's moment, and then he looked at it, and he did not hesitate. He also reached out and was actually the same blood-red sword. Light, easy to kill the blood-red sword light in this white man. Is this Dao technique shapeshift great art? The white man is still a fascinating look. Although Weisuo has 7 identical blood-red swords, he does not believe that Weisuo can get himself too fast. Shua! 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 Another is the crisp and emptying surge sound. The white man has a heart and Weisuo, and the other is the shapeshift great art. It is the sky sword sect life-taking blood sword that is known for its quickness. In a flash, 8 blood-red sword lights were revealed. Ka, ka, ka. The 8 consecutive surge sounds. This is the same surging sound of the blood-red sword light collision, but the 8 surging sounds the sound of the surging sound, while a blood-red sword light is already in front of the white man. The man in white can be sure that even if he meets anyone like Zhang Sunjing, his shapeshift great art will not fall behind, but the other succulent face cultivator is directly pressed by his shapeshift great art. Who is this person? Where did it come from? It seems that the vitality of the body is very tyrannical, and the age is not at all great treasure. Is it that the great treasure of Moonstar Union or Ancient Desolate Union can be secretly combined with Sky Black Union? The white man is thinking about the problem that it is impossible to get an answer at the moment, but as the top presence in the cultivation world, his movements are hesitant without half points. The whole body naked body falls like a rock. After the Weisuo's sword light. It's not bad, it seems to be easy to hide. But at this time, Weisuo laughed, shua shua burst of sound, for a moment is 10 blood-red sword light to the white man. So fast, the white hair of the man in white is erected, and the subconscious mind is eager to take a life-taking blood sword. At the same time, the figure is desperately mad, desperately resisting dodge. It's too slow, life-taking blood sword is not like this, but a surging sound great treasure that made the white man almost screamed, but Weisuo shook his head again, and the blood-red sword light in a flash. Together, the radical is faster. When the white man provoked the life-taking blood sword for a moment, Weisuo unexpectedly provoked 12 life-taking blood swords. Hong. The white man finally understood that it wasn't Weisuo's opponent, and a golden divine mark was formed from his body, forming a golden moon blade. Pangret Treasure's powerful energy will be all blood-red sword light. Winch to smash. Oh. This is Northern Bright Sect. What is the shapeshift great art field of the shapeshift great art evolution? I have never seen it. Weisuo he smiled, a Lingzi-like black fire hit by a myriad of black divine marks, smashing the golden moon blade, and at the same time, a fine dark golden sword, a surging sound, strangled and out. Ah! I saw this white man finally screamed with a surging sound, and his head turned, but it was able to avoid Weisuo's astonishing dark golden sword light. It seems that you really got the Bright King induction scripture, or you should avoid this attack with your degree. See the white man to avoid himself a blow. Weisuo is again to the white man muttered this sentence. You, what the hell are you? At this time, the white man had completely changed his face, and there was no longer a high look. I just let you eat meat, I will tell you that it is who. Now you want me to tell you, you can only eat the skeleton and say it, but also look at my heart lust. Weisuo smiled at the white man. What is the origin of this person? Even the divine lord of Biming is not his opponent. At this time, in the rear of the Feeling Ridge, all the cultivators who secretly watched the battle were all numb. They couldn't think of the chapter of Old Devil's message, which actually led the divine lord of Biming, and what they didn't even think about was that the sacred face cultivator of this secret place was actually able to deal with the North. Ming divine lord looks like. Do you think that you can eat me safely? The white man's face suddenly burst into a burst of red, a surging sound great treasure called. The white man's black light flashed outside, but it was suddenly a black lacquered cultivator. This black lacquered cultivator is full of strong great treasure, as much as the origin chi of the divine mystic great treasure, but the naked body is a black divine iron with a frosty glow. Full of many embossed patterns. This is not a cultivator at all, but a strong great treasure of essence metal. Essence metal from divine mystic level. At that time, the strongest essence metal seemed to have only the strength of golden core. Even the broken essence metal that I saw in Qingcheng ruins was not as good as this essence metal. This essence metal and divine iron seemed to be good. Even if Steel Teeth younger sister doesn't use secret place, it should be able to be used to refine things. Wei Suo's eyes suddenly turned on. Kill him. As soon as the essence metal was released, the white man suddenly became proud of it. A surging sound sternly shouted, a strange orange divine mark manifested outside his body, but it was condense a glazed great treasure tree. At the same time, it was dark and it couldn't be said that it was the cold essence metal. It was also the strong chi of the strong great treasure. The black divine mark condensed a handle outside the essence metal. Black ancient spear. The two devastating treasures and the devastating chi flame rise in the void, making all the cultivators in the rear of the feeling ridge feel fatal. Forget it, don't play with you. But at this moment, all the people saw that Wei Suo seemed to have no interest. He looked at the white man and said this. At the same time as this surging sound came out, a white light that was completely obscured by shape-shift great art instantly filled the sky. Ah! Almost at the same time, a surging sound of the white man screamed surging sound. Ah! The white light of the tsunami seems to come out of Wei Suo's eyebrows, but it disappears after a flash, and all the people look at the sights before they jump completely. The head of the black essence metal has been broken and was carried by Wei Suo. The white man was rolled up by Wei Suo, a green brilliance, and stayed by the side. Just saying that I didn't play with you, and between the eyes, I smashed the divine lord of divine mystic fifth layer. What kind of divine ability? Was he really playing with the divine lord of Biming before? Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1182. Lord Snowhawk. Dragon Legend. Super Soldier. Cultivation of Rain and Clouds. Budo Supreme. King Yanjai. My neighbor is a banshee. Xianmu Legend. Ecstasy returns to ecstasy, but the situation is still extremely permeable. A statue of a corpse-like squatter, sitting up to the height of 5 or 6 feet, sat in front of the sarcophagus, and his indigo skin was dotted, as if burning. A moment later, the air in the copper-colored palace shook slightly, and another great aristocrat received the support of the blue magic medicine and came out of the huge sarcophagus and sat on the ground. This barren power is even more terrifying. It is a barren power with 8 arms, and it should be another one of the barren different from the 4-arm barren power. There is no hair on the head, but it is one by one. Pimples like short corners. This 8-armed baron is all indigo blue, but his skin is completely dry and cracked, deep into the bones, and a big hole is punched in the middle of his head. At the moment, sitting on the ground, there are countless gods flashing in the big hole above the head and the cracks on the body, as if in a lightning storm. Boom! Wei Suo and others seemed to have a sound around them. I saw that the 4-armed barbarian might have no special people at this moment. He didn't choose any of them, and he rescued the past one by one and introduced the medicine. After a sarcophagus beside the 8-armed Huangzu, the sarcophagus stepped out of a Taoist in iron clothes. Actually there is the power to mix with these extraterrestrial demon. Chang Sun Ziru was afraid and angry, and could not help crying. This Taoist is invisible at the moment, wearing a vestment made of black iron, but it is obviously not a barbarian, but a monk, and the Taoist is very powerful. Walking out of the sarcophagus is like an invisible giant. The hammer is striking the void. This Taoist must have helped the power of the Huangs in the Battle of the Spirit and Wasteland 60 or 70,000 years ago. The Taoist, who could not see his face and looked like an iron cast, was sitting cross-legged on the ground, and a barbarian who was punched in a big hole in his chest was rescued and walked out of a sarcophagus beside him. Then, another man with only 2 arms, but behind him, a pair of huge flesh wings came out of the sarcophagus. This Baron Almighty does not know what breed among the barons. Anyway, Ling Longtian has only told Weizhuo a few of them, but the mainstream is still the 4-armed Baron Almighty. The blood and flesh are extremely powerful, and they can continue to advance, giving birth to the arms and even the head of the Baron. But what is certain is that this wild man with huge flesh wings is certainly not a good deal, because this wild man sits on the ground, and a black sun floats above his head immediately. The inky black disk immediately exudes countless waterfall-like patterns, as if reaching into other voids, desperately drawing vitality and introducing it into the body of this barren power. They are here. An almost transparent brilliance came out against a mountain range, and flew precisely towards the place where Wei Suo and others were. As soon as he saw this escape, Chang Sun Jing said this, and finally he seemed to be relieved. This is the people of the Chang Sun family finally brought the things Wei Wei asked for. At this time, Chang Sun Jing and others also felt that they were fortunate to be here, otherwise they would all be suffocated by invisible pressure and die. The sight of a terrible baron from the sarcophagus, one after another, was so shocking. Now there are 16 creepy deserts in the copper-colored hall. Tribe. If every power of the baron is born, I am afraid that they can destroy the monastic world of 1 or 2 continents, and more barons can come out of the sarcophagus. It's okay at this time, Wei Suo wiped his cold sweat, but instead he was relieved. After seeing this for a while, he at least confirmed his 2 points of inference. First, although the blue magic medicine in the body of the ancient emperor is equivalent to being able to save the power of these barons, there is no way to directly supplement the power of these barons. The vitality and blood have been completely exhausted. Second, the power of these barons in the 60,000–70,000 year battle was also extremely badly hit, and they all reached the point of dying. It was not the same as the 4-armed baron who was sealed in the same day when he was in the Dacianatian cave, but it was sealed in this place with the help of other baron members. This place is equivalent to the gathering place where the barbarians at that time stored the wounded soldiers with extremely serious injuries. And in these 60,000 to 70,000 years, there are no other barons who can come to treat these barons who are seriously wounded. This only shows that in the end, even if the baron finally won the battle with the spirits, it is certainly not easy to win. I am afraid people are almost dead. Now that these 4-armed characters, who have been rescued by the 4-armed aristocrats, must try to replenish some of their vitality and desperately repair their serious injuries, I am afraid that even 10 days and a half months may not be able to start. This gave him a lot of time invisible. Master Huang sect, there are all the magic weapons and artifacts that I have collected to resist the heavenly tribulation. Ling Longtian and Xuanhuan seniors have already made a detailed list for me, and there is me in this note. As far as I know, all the records about heavenly tribulation are tight. Time is running out. All the instruments and magic weapons that have been sent to resist heavenly tribulation this time, I will bother you to help me take a closer look, and when they will be used the people of the family finally delivered the things. Wei Suo took out his Nebao ancient ring and placed it in front of Huang Daijun and others, but he was the Tianyuan divine pill and the jade rune that recorded the god's pattern. Get into the hands. This time, the eldest grandson's family is also deadly. Although the Tianyuan Dan Weizhuo has not heard the relevant records before, but after listening to the elders Sun Jing and Chang Sun Zairu, this is a monk's refining of Shengxuan's heavy one can go straight to Shenxian 2. The heavy immortal top-level elixir is the treasure of the Long Sun family that has been passed down for thousands of years. In addition to this, the grandson's family helped Wei Suo collect a total of 6 main road patterns this time. So many magic weapons to resist the sky tribulation. Huang Daijun was taken aback as soon as he took the Nebo ancient ring ordered by Wei Suo. Among Weizhuo's ancient Nebo ring, there are more than 100 pieces of magic weapons and artifacts that resist the sky tribulation. Where is this still a hasty transition? I am afraid that a powerful man has prepared for 200 or 300 years, and may not be able to collect so many magic weapons that Wei Suo can withstand the heavenly disaster. The most important thing is that at least half of them, if you don't look at the records of jade symbols in Neolai, Huang Daijun doesn't know it at all, nor does it know the function. That is to say, even if there is a power that has such a supernatural power of Wei Suo, there are so many sects to help collect, I am afraid that only half of them can be collected, and half of the things will be dusted because no one knows the function. Because this place has been banned by the people of the Long Sun family, and coupled with the powerful actions of the inner four-armed Baron, Wei Suo, and others have seen it very clearly, so Wei Suo did not hesitate, direct a spirit of water spirit flushed towards the Tianyuan divine pill of Chang Sun family, trying to rush out a trace of medicine. The Tianyuan divine pill of the Chang Sun family is also very peculiar. It has the size of a fist, and the body is orange-yellow, like a round gemstone. A faint light word. At this moment, Wei Suo tried to draw out a little medicine, tried to refine it, and suddenly felt that a pure vitality penetrated into his true element like a long river. Sure enough, it's the top magic pill of immortal order. Wei Suo took a deep breath immediately, knowing that his success rate was a bit higher. This ray of medicinal power does not know the number of ordinary 4 or 5 level water demon pill, and in terms of his current cultivation and physical endurance, it is almost instantaneous refining. He can be sure that it does not take at most 2 hours. The time alone, relying on this magic pill, he can successfully hit the peak of the 4 levels of Shenxian. And he has to control the points carefully, because they don't need to refining this spirit pill to hit the 4 peaks of Shenxian. In case of a little more refining, which directly provokes heaven tribulation, then he is really miserable. At that time, it was too late to cry. Huangzongju, Wei Shenjun. After more than half an hour, another wave of deliberately suppressing the air flew down and rushed to this place where Huang Daijun and Wei Suo and others were. Jade Heaven Sect Master, Saint King Sect Master, Uniying God Sovereign and all others arrived. Seeing that Wei Suo was constantly refining the magic pill, these people did not say much, all of them were secretly communicating, and seeing the scenes from the magic mirror were almost horrified, and almost stopped breathing. Boom. It was less than half an hour. The void not far behind everyone was slightly shocked again, and a cloud of cyan gleamed through. Wei Suo, Huang Daijun, and others were horrified, because the breath of the gleaming blue brilliance was very terrifying, just like a huge mountain that exuded from the void, even far beyond the black Bodhi Tian Muo. Coercion. Ancestor. And as soon as they saw the blue light coming through, Chang Sun Jing and Chang Sun Zairu and all the other grand family members immediately gave a big gift. This time Wei Suo and others responded, as Chang Sun Jing said before, the deepest foundation of the Chang Sun family, the ancestor of the Chang Sun family who called the ascension and cultivation practice, did not hesitate to use the secret method, and gave up the flesh. Among the cyan brilliance, an old man came down. The old man was like a crystal blue jade, and all the brilliance in it surged like a tide. This is not the human body, but the condensed power of the divine soul and some powerful power. Have seen seniors seeing this old man who had no blood or breath, Weizhuo paid a serious salute. The elder ancestor of the Long Sun family was born purely to deal with the extraterrestrial demon, which is much higher than him, and is his comrade in arms, which is worthy of his respect. If any chapter content is not displayed, please visit to read. Tip: you can search for 0.academy00sy or 00sy in Baidu to visit this site. The site address is. To facilitate reading this book next time, you can click add bookmark below to record this reading record, and you can directly read this chapter next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Remember that the more updates you share, the faster. Mobile phone users, please visit. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1183. Lord Snowhawk. Dragon Legend. Super Soldier. Cultivation of Rain and Clouds. Budo Supreme. King Yanjai. My neighbor is a banshee. Xianmu Legend. An old saying really doesn't lie to me, It's really powerful in chaos, and heroes out of youth. As soon as he saw the scene in the magic mirror arranged by Weisuo and the grandson family, the ancestor of the grandson family gave a long sigh and gave out such a voice. Senior, your realm is much higher than mine, I can't see it. Weisuo first patted a fart, and then asked straight, do you think you can deal with the demon outside the four-arm territory? I have at most only the strength close to the 5 peaks of Shenxian, alone should not be the opponent of this extraterrestrial demon, and can only resist for a while at most. The ancestor of the Long Sun family looked at Weisuo and replied seriously. Then how long can you maintain this kind of power? Weisuo asked more straightly. His sentence was virtually equivalent to asking how long this ancestor could live. It can only support up to 10 days. After 10 days, although it can persist for a few days, the power will slowly dissipate. I am afraid that I won't be able to help you anymore. Everything, even after killing the power of these barons, can't survive anymore, and they joined forces with Weizhuo, so there is no slightest concealment. Your practice is really against the sky, and you should be able to reach the peak of the 4 levels of Shenxian in half an hour. After a pause, the whole body radiated blue light, like the elder grandson of a crystal jade. Looking at Weisuo, he said this again. After that half an hour, how about the senior and me going to play in the black light dome together? Weisuo looked at the elder ancestor of the grandson family. Go in after half an hour? Brother Wei, what do you want to do? As soon as we heard Weisuo say, Chang Sun Ziru was startled. The eyes of the ancestors of the elder grandson family suddenly shot a substantial divine light, and instantly understood the general intention of Weisuo. You want to enter to try if we can kill the demon outside the domain, see if these are still recovering. Does it have combat power with the extraterrestrial demon trying to heal? Damn, it's really scary. Weisuo looked at the horrible aristocratic power in the picture, but he was a little embarrassed, but he nodded. This is something he must try. If these barbarian powers now have a strong combat power, then he is afraid that he will launch a sky tribulation when he enters. The later he enters, the more likely he will be killed by spikes. Now there is such a powerful man. Ancestor can help himself block. It would be best if he could directly kill the 4-armed barbarian power and stand in it. He could even place a big ban in it, which would have a higher success rate in blocking the sky tribulation. Okay, in this case, after that half an hour, I will go with you to play a life. The ancestor of the Changsun family looked at Weisuo more and more, and even a smile appeared on his face. Right, when I am Heyday, I may be able to help you block all their insights, so that they cannot connect you with the heavenly tribulation, and I never expected you to use heavenly tribulation to deal with them. The ancestor of the eldest grandson's family is going to die anyway if he succeeds or not, and he has lived. I don't know how old he is. I probably experienced everything, and I can laugh, but Weisuo couldn't laugh at all. He knew that although it was a temptation this time, the success or failure was all here. If he was wiped out by the other party as soon as he entered, it would be really over. Okay, the ancestor of the grandson of the Sun family observed nothing wrong, and within half an hour, Weisuo stopped the practice of the water emperors devouring the sun, and he has truly reached the peak of the fourfolds of Shenxian. This kind of momentum seems to be about to explode. There seems to be a huge thing to rise from his body, a strong breath, tumbling outside his body. Even if Weisuo himself used the technique, and the Long Sun family was in the prohibitions placed here cannot be concealed at all, so that the clouds in the sky above the head are constantly changing. At this time, the 4-armed baron is busy in the black light dome, otherwise if it is in black outside of the light dome, it is certain that there will be power lurking here. The potency of Tianyuan divine pill of the eldest son family is the same as that of Weisuo, and there is still a half of a pigeon egg size. Weisuo did not put it away, but held it directly in the center of the palm of his hand. All the magic weapons and magic weapon Weisuo that resisted the heaven tribulation have also been counted by themselves. Finally, the Long Sun family was found at any cost. The total number is 167. According to different characteristics, it is divided into 6 Nabeo. Pact. All these magic weapons, as well as the amazing amount of water demon and elixir brought by the last batch of Huangdaijun and others, as well as the water demon and elixir brought by the Changsun family, Wei Suo was also brought in off-body. If he is not good after entering, a face-to-face will be killed in seconds, then he can only completely desperately, when he enters, the remaining Tianyuan divine pill in the center of the palm is turned into a sudden, directly inducing heavenly tribulation. When the time comes to provoke the heavenly tribulation, his Shenxian breakthrough, he must also devour amazing energy. Fight. After preparing all of this, Wei Suo took another look at the scene in the magic mirror. As a result, he became less courageous. In the copper-colored hall, the aristocratic power that had walked out of the huge sarcophagus had reached more than 30. Sitting there one by one, it was really a group of demons, and it was scary to see. After yelling in my heart, Wei Suo gritted his teeth and nodded at the ancestor of the Changsun family, and swept towards the black light dome. Past. Wang Wei, Sushenxiu, and Tourmaline sect master followed Wei Suo closely, and Huangdaijun and others. Wei Suo did not let them in. After all, for the famine power, there is one more Shenxian power. It's just like adding a flesh shield, it's useless. Friends, don't let them go in and die. Brother Wei, you must come back alive. Chang Sun Ziru saw Wei Suo rushing out, suddenly his eyes were red, and he cried out repeatedly. Wei Suo turned back, trying to draw a master's smile, but his face was stiff, and he felt that he certainly did not laugh at all with the master's style, which was uglier than crying. Why, Wei Xiao, I think you are really scared. The ancestor of the Changsun family was in front of Wei Suo, watching Wei Suo say this. I'm really scared to death. Wei Suo felt that even if his acting skills were good now, he wouldn't be able to pretend to speak, and he said bitterly. I am afraid to go like this, Wei Xiao, I really admire your courage. Senior, you are so interesting. After a flurry of hair in his heart, Wei Suo took Wang Wei and other 3 people, and finally reached the black light dome with the Changsun family. At the moment, I can see clearly. Below is a huge valley. A huge black light dome is like a bowl with an upside down. It is breathtaking. According to the earliest message from the grandson family, this black light dome originally seemed to be hidden in the ground. After the 4-armed aristocrat arrived, I didn't know what method was used. The black light dome floated up from the ground. Are you ready? After descending to the side of the black light dome, the ancestor of the Changsun family changed his previous expression, and looked at Wei Suo with an extremely solemn look. After all, it is not only about the life and death of him and Wei Suo, it is about the life and death of not knowing how many monks. In fact, this ancestor of the grandson family also has a lot of selfishness. He can't control the life and death of many monks who have nothing to do with him. It is also possible to re-exist. Okay, after Wei Suo took a deep breath, he settled down completely, watching the ancestor of the Long Sun family nodded, and pushed Wang Wei and Sushenxiu and sect master of Tourmaline to the top in front of him. The black light dome in front of him looks smooth and thin like porcelain, but since the Changsun family has ancient characters that can be entered, he will naturally not waste much effort trying to try the power of this black light dome. Seeing Wei Suo nod, the ancestor of the grandson family no longer spoke, reaching out a bit, a piece of blue and green ancient charm was instantly excited by him, and turned into a large piece of rainbow light impacting on the black light dome in front of them. Zi. The black light dome immediately made the same sound of hot oil dripping on the red iron plate, and then a hole that only allowed 2 or 3 people to pass appeared on the black light dome. At this moment, Wei Suo no longer hesitated, and made a gesture to Wang Wei and others, and the elder grandfather of the family of the grandson and family followed and swept in behind Wang Wei and others. Boom, in an instant, Wei Suo hadn't had time to see the scene in front of him. A wave of terrible energy surged across the ocean, and a monstrous magic power swept over the ground. The entry of Wei Suo and others was inevitably discovered by the inner aristocrats. But at the same time, a cool, water-like feeling instantly wrapped around Wei Suo's body. This is the elder ancestor of the eldest grandson family also issued a secret technique. A strange power of gods and souls covered Wei Suo and himself, isolating the coercion of the rushing consciousness. "It's you, I didn't expect you to come to the door." A surprising and large voice oscillated from a distance, and at this time, Wei Suo finally saw the whole scene completely. This is more terrifying than it looks from the outside. The identical copper-colored ancient temples are very huge, covering an area of 500 or 600 feet, like a small hill, dense, and they all exude a terror that is very different from the ordinary monk's ban. A demon was entrenched on the ground. And a group of indigo-blue brilliance is showing through the door of an ancient copper-colored palace in the distance. Outside the black sky dome, where Chang Sun-jing and other people are located, everyone's breathing was completely stopped. They saw it very clearly. The four-armed baron could leave the magic medicine in the ancient temple, and swept it out to Weizhuo and others. "Last time I let you escape, this time you can't escape." Wei Suo was scared before doing things, but at first he was calmer than anyone else. Last time he clearly fled, but he at the moment, it was very shameless, but instead called this to the four-armed baron. "Haha, the little guy is clenched, let me catch you first, and see where you came from." The four-armed baron is also stunned for a while, and then emits a violent laugh, evading several times. Between the flashes, if there is invisible cold power, directly beheaded towards the sea of Wei Suoji. If any chapter content is not displayed, please visit to read. Tip: you can search for 0.academy00sy or 00sy in Baidu to visit this site. The site address is. To facilitate reading this book next time, you can click Add Bookmark below to record this reading record, and you can directly read this chapter next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Remember that the more updates you share, the faster. Mobile phone users, please visit Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 1184. Chapter 1184. 3 Gifts. During the storm, there were countless brilliance surges. It seems that a pot of boiling water was suddenly stirred up, but after dozens of breaths, it was all brilliance, and it was calm, and there was only a storm and a rough road between the heavens and the earth. Great treasures. Lightning falls. In the West Sea City, where the secret place is tens of thousands of miles away, anyone knows nothing about what happened during the storm, including the storm. One day in a row, until the darkness of the night, there are still cultivators coming from all directions, entering the magnificent great treasure city that has been rarely seen in this repairing road. In the West Sea City, the splendid light is bright overnight, and there are countless temples in the courtyard. People are surging sound. Many friends who have not seen for a long time are talking all night, intercourse surging sound. Until the early morning, I have already gone to the great treasure of the West Sea. All the cultivators have rushed to the giant great essence metal platform in the west side of the mountain. I saw the giant reliability treasure on the essence metal platform. Hundreds of feet of white jade platform, and around this white jade platform, there are countless lotus seeds. All the cultivators gathered on this giant great essence metal platform have more than 20,000, and most of the great treasures are dozens of old people with nearly 100 young and 20-year-old disciples. Many of the young disciples are clearly the first to see such a majestic great treasure city and so many cultivators, all of which shine in the same light. Dang! 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 The bursting clock of the Qingyu is still ringing, and in the cloud of the secret place, there is still a cultivator coming in. Hong! Previous Senior, Li Palace Lord. Suddenly, the entire venue was intercourse, and many of the older cultivators stood up from the lotus platform and saluted toward a group of cultivators. See, this group of cultivator is also more than 100, are driving monster beast, and the current one, unexpectedly is driving a 5 feet silver 5-claw dragon, and the body of divine light formed a huge great treasure green-yellow manipulated color monster beast shape, although the hair is gray, but the face as slim June manipulated yi, body divine mystic aroma flow, is obviously divine mystic, realm cultivation base. This is which great treasure of our sky black union can come. Which is this predecessor, is the silver dragon heavenly dragon. How is it so prestige? The momentum is amazing. Many young cultivators at the age of 20 only feel that the great treasure is shocking, and they are convinced by the temperament of this person. Many older people can't help but reprimand. You really have no knowledge. This predecessor is the Divine Lord. It turned out to be Divine Lord Li Ruohe. Many young cultivators at the age of 20 suddenly have brighter eyes and more surprises in their hearts. What Wei Suo didn't know was that Li Ruohe's veins in the era of the world's madness and the formation of the Sky Black Union can be said to be a revival. Some of the domestication and cultivation of the monster beasts have played a decisive role in these years. Many cultivator cultivation bases are insufficient, but they can rely on the stocking of the monster beast to improve the battle strength. Now the Sky Black Union's cultivator travels. Walking wildly, it is also relying on the monster beast. I have seen fellow deist. Li Ruohe stands on top of the silver dragon, watching the more and more close to the West Sea City, is also heart lust. These 200 years are completely different from the past repairs. There are more deaths and deaths. More friends and family have passed away. Every time I participate in this great treasure of the West Sea, I will look at many faces that I know or don't know. There are many different feelings. Peng. Suddenly, the flames of the long flame tails rushed out from the secret places in the West Sea City. The Guanghua 4 dances, the sky is full of colorful clouds, a gypsum great treasure tree manifests in the sky, countless smallpox floats in the void. The West Sea great treasure will be officially started. All the cultivators already in the West Sea City can't help but surging the sound intercourse, look up. Fellow deist gathers, it's so quick and happy, I really want to be this West Sea event every day. In the midst of the sky, a loud surging sound was heard. A strip of divine mystic breath, the simplicity of the coming down. Sure Palace Lord, you are not coming early. Senior Zhang Sun, Jade Sect Master. For a time, Sky Black Union's cultivator is more intercourse surging sound. This is the Divine Lord Zhang Sun Zairu, and many juvenile cultivators saw Zhang Sun Zairu, but suddenly they were shocked by the giant bell and they stayed. Under the morning glow and the glory of the sky, Zhang Sun Zairu had a faint smile on his face, and he had changed into a red Xiaoyi, which seemed to be incomprehensible. Standing beside Zhang Sun Zairu, Xin Yalan and Zhang Sun Jing stand. Xin Yalan has already worn a brilliant golden armor at the moment, and it seems to be incomprehensible. Zhang Sun Jing has also seen wrinkles on his forehead, but his power is stronger and his face is a bright smile. Next to Zhang Sun Jing, an old man, a white man, and an extraordinary one, was the Jade Heaven sect master of plentiful goddess Jade. There is also a tremble, old-fashioned Huangpao old man, but it is Xuanhuan old ancestor. At this time, Xuanhuan old ancestor is already the cultivation base of divine mystic second layer, but the inner chi is already declining. If there is nothing particularly amazing, I am afraid that the fall is the thing of the past 10 years. In addition to the few Wei Suo know, there are 4 divine mystic great treasure can, but it should be the 200 years of the new divine mystic great treasure can, respectively, is a man wearing a purple-red policy dress of the middle-aged female cultivator, a 30 teenage age, hair is snow white man, a body like iron cast, fine butt, hair is like a root steel wire face cold man, there is about 40 years old, back up with a red and 1 green 2 handles flying swords white-faced middle-aged. Cultivator. This time the great treasure of the West Sea will be at the departure of Yao Divine Lord. I think it will be a good gift. Li Ruohe descended from the air and smiled at Zhang Sunjing's pretending blame. He smiled. A good piece of heavenly snow divine iron is finally a good hand. Between the smiles, Li Ruohe pointed out a white light and fell in front of Zhang Sun's Iru. Heavenly snow divine iron. This is heavenly snow divine iron. The entire giant treasure essence metal platform suddenly applauded the surging sound, and everyone's eyes were on the white divine iron that Li Ruohe pointed out. I saw that the white divine iron looks white and white, just like the smallest white snow white but it gives a very heavy feeling, a circle of white divine light, quiet from the side of the white but white delicate divine iron. Heavenly snow divine iron is one of the top grade essence metals in the repairing world. It is documented in the ancient book. It is a top-grade essence metal that can be used to refine the real immortal armament tire, embedded with other ice. There is another increase in the spirit of the great treasure or the engraving of other ice systems. This divine iron has been extinct in ancient, but Li Ruohe now points out the heavenly snow divine iron, which is 5 feet long, 1 foot wide, and the thickness of the 4 or 5 fingers is enough for refining. A piece of great treasure's tire naked body. This one thing is too expensive for divine mystic great treasure. Predecessors, this thing is really too expensive for you. Zhang Sun's Iru did not quit, and accepted the divine iron, but her eyes could not help but be full of surprises. Li Ruohe's gift was also somewhat unexpected. Place Palace Lord, you have such a thing, how can you shoot so early? Is it not that I am deliberately embarrassed? Just then, a bold smile surging sound also fell from the sky. A red-haired old man who Wei Suo had not seen, the cultivation base of the golden core 5th layer, fell from the air, reached out and pointed out a red fire. Pill bottle, Xuanhuan predecessor, this medicine pill can't compare the heavenly snow divine iron of the palace master, you will accept it? This is God blood life continuing pill, Xuanhuan old ancestor greeted the man, and some strangely opened fire red pill bottle at first glance, but was taken aback. Inside, a medicine pill is red and jade, and there is a strip of blood like divine light that keeps on breathing. God blood life continuing pill, this is a spiritual herb that at least allows divine mystic great treasure to add 2 or 3 years of life essence, read an old ancestor. This gift is also valuable. When I heard the surging sound of Xuanhuan old ancestor, all the Sky Black Union cultivators present were also taken aback. Zhang Sunjing Yan smiles, these 2 things can be said to be useful for the Sky Black Union great treasure secret place. This time the show is exposed, it is exciting to be great treasure, is at this juncture, Zhang Sunjing is ready to go the first process of the great treasure of the West Sea. All the old people choose their own young cultivator, and accept it as a younger sister. This West Sea great treasure will be divided into 3 stages, the apprentice, intercourse easy to change great treasure will and reward the great treasure meeting, to continue for 3 days, enter the real stage, the atmosphere will be even more enthusiastic, and there will be some distant Sky Black Union cultivators coming. But at this time, a surging sound of dang is another burst of bells. This surging sound is more intense than the previous Zhongming, full of an inexplicable killing atmosphere. Shua. All Sky Black Union cultivators are all looking out of the city. This surging sound is the surging sound of Zhai City, although the West Sea Great Treasure will look very lively and open, but in fact all the coming Sky Black Union cultivator, which has been confirmed half a year ago, has been used. I absorbed chi and blood and brought it in. When someone with these cultivators who are not in the Sky Black Union arrives, a great treasure of Zhai City that senses chi and blood will be immediately detected. Is the silver candle divine lord, who dares to come alone? The clock surging sound did not fall, only to see a silver light in the far secret place sky towards the West Sea City. It is a young cultivator with a silvery flash, even the skin on the face and the exposed skin is a strange silver, and the skin is even covered with scales. This cultivator is one of Backfire Union's divine mystic great treasures, the Divine Lord, but only the cultivation base of divine mystic second layer, which dares to appear outside of Zhai City. Fellow deist of Sky Black Union is well received under the support of Xantai Linglan. I will come over and offer 3 gifts to celebrate the West Coast Great Treasure and the Divine Lord. I saw a silver candle, Divine Lord, screaming in the air, and made such a surging sound in the West Sea City. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1185. Chapter 1185 is followed by Sky Black Union. Xantai Linglan? Actually dare to go to the West Sea Great Treasure will come to trouble. As soon as I heard the Divine Lord, the Sky Black Union cultivator of the Great Treasure, half of the West Sea Great Treasure, was called in anger. Xantai Linglan and Sky Black Union have been able to resolve the Great Treasure revenge, saying that they are sending 3 gifts. How can they be kind? Silver Candle, are you not afraid that I will kill you? Zhang Sunjing suddenly smiled coldly and sent a surging sound. Can't do this, at least let's take a look at our gift. Silver Candle, Divine Lord, he smile, a pair of great treasure is proud of. Brother, don't be angry, don't be disturbed by this person, the great treasure of the West Sea. Zhang Sun's Iru sound transmission in the ears of Zhang Sunjing, the surging sound came out lightly. Well, Xantai Linglan sent a gift, since he wants to send, how can he not come? Divine Lord, a silver-colored silver candle, smiled a little. He won't come, Yao. Divine Lord will understand it after listening to 3 gifts. Laughter, have a fart and let go. Like a fish scale, watching it is disgusting, but also what kind of master style? Zhang Sunziru said directly. The face of the silver candle Divine Lord suddenly became stiff. A group of Sky Black Union's young cultivators were also stunned. They didn't expect Zhang Sunziru to look at the delicate and weak, and actually said such a hot word. All right. 1 or 2 breaths of time, the presence of a great treasure group Sky Black Union cultivator is ha-ha's call. The other party was originally trying to make a mystery, and it looked like a high-profile person, but it was like a clown by Zhang Sunziru. You, Divine Lord's nose is discouraged. Divine Mystic Great Treasure can attack each other's appearance and attack the other Divine Mystic Variation scenery. But Zhang Sunziru said that he did not have anything at all. Shapeshift Great Art. Okay, very good. If this is the case, you will listen to these 3 gifts. After the gasp, the silver candle Divine Lord yelled, our first gift is 10,000 cultivators from your Sky Black Union. What? The Divine Lord, the silver candle, said that the presence of the Sky Black Union cultivator has changed. Listening to the silver candle Divine Lord, Backfire Union turned out to be a cultivator that has already produced 10,000 Sky Black Unions. You are anxious to open the great treasure of the West Sea. In a few years of prosperity, it is estimated that there is no way to take care of some small places, so what happened, you do not know. Divine Lord was a little bit proud at this moment, grinning. We originally wanted to bring back some of our Backfire Union gathering points, but Xantai Linglan thinks that our 2 alliances will soon be one, so just when the first gift was delivered. Flatulence, who and your Backfire Union family? Many of the Sky Black Union's cultivators suddenly and eagerly got the great treasure. It was also common for Sky Black Union and Backfire Union to capture each other's cultivator gathering points. During this time, Sky Black Union has also received news of several local attacks. This West Coast Great Treasure will itself be gathered. Great Treasure can negotiate to deal with the next situation. After all, now Sky Black Union is a festival failure, must have the action of Great Treasure. But now the other side says 10,000 Sky Black Union cultivators. This number is a bit amazing. I am afraid that at least a dozen cultivator gathering points have been broken by the other side. And our second gift from Backfire Union is your Jiyin God Lord. The silver candle Divine Lord is more proud, and then eagerly said. Jiyin God Lord, Even Zhang Sunziru has changed his face slightly. Logically speaking, Ji Yin God Lord should have arrived at this time anyway, but now Ji Yin God Lord has not yet appeared. Okay, come here. At this moment, the Silver Candle Divine Lord was just sulking, and finally happy, some dancing. In the sky on the north side of the secret place, a splendid light of a great treasure piece appeared, just a moment of time, faint. It seems that an amazing number of cultivators came. All of the Sky Black Union's cultivator faces are completely ugly, and many of the Sky Black Union's cultivators are biting their teeth. Obviously, there is a great treasure batch cultivator subject to people, who are brought in. Look, really do have thousands of people. What is the third gift? Zhang Sunziru coldly out of surging sound. Her heart is filled with the cold killing intent at the moment, but she is worried about the safety of Ji Yin God Lord, and she is afraid of any great treasure, so she forcibly curbed the urge to kill the Divine Lord, and surging sound ask. The third gift is Zantai Linglan himself. The Silver Candle Divine Lord looked at the rear of the great treasure batch cultivator and said with a smile, he will come to the relatives personally, as long as Yao Di Divine Lord you promise to be his Deo companion, then we have a good relationship between Sky Black Union and Backfire Union. It's a family. Presumptuous. As soon as I heard the words of the Silver Candle Divine Lord, Zhang Sunjing and others suddenly changed their faces. This kind of discourse is said on this occasion, it is completely naked provocation and ridicule. You don't have to rush to make a statement. Zantai Linglan said that naturally, he has his reason. If he is still Divine Mystic 5th layer cultivation base, he is naturally not qualified to say this to the Divine Lord. Silver Candle Divine Lord he said. What, is he? For a time, all the Sky Black Union cultivators present were in a chill. This Silver Candle Divine Lord means that Zantai Linglan has broken through true immortal. Zantai Linglan dare to come. Zhang Sunziru's surging sound came out again. For a time, the entire Zihai city was filled with cold air. Li Ruohe and other people look at each other's eyes, see the meaning of the other side. The West Sea great treasure will be completely failed. If the other side is a lot of great treasure can simultaneously arrives, then I am afraid is a Cezanne. If Zantai Linglan a man came to his void road shapeshift great art, want to safely come and go, there is no problem, cannot stay with him, the Sky Black Union's great and mighty will really drop to the freezing point. The cultivator of a great treasure group emerged from the far side and slowly appeared in the sight of all cultivators in Zihaikan. He counted the time and went to pick an ice cloud fairy. It should be the arrival of these two gifts. The Silver Candle Divine Lord is even more arrogant, and smiles again, saying such a sentence. What happened? But all of a sudden, the eyes of the Silver Candle Divine Lord bulged. This, all the Sky Black Union cultivators in the West Sea City are also incredibly great treasure eyes, and sometimes there is no reaction at all. There are at least 10,000 cultivators flying over the black pressure, but the 10,000 cultivators are not the cultivator of Sky Black Union, but the cultivator of Backfire Union. Only 5 of the cultivators on the periphery are Sky Black Union's cultivators. The most suspicious problem is that each of the 10,000 cultivators also took root branches and inserted a great treasure block of barbecue, which looked good and savory monster beast. What the hell is this? Originally, it should have been one of his own 10,000 cultivators, and the result was that 10,000 cultivators were taken over, and each person gave a barbecue. For a moment, looking at the crowd, the Divine Lord was laughing and laughing, and his face was a little distorted. Ji Yin God Lord. At this time, let his naked body twitch a bit, so that the Sky Black Union cultivator in the West Sea City issued a surging sound. The exclaimed is that an old man wearing a purple crown and wearing a black robe is the front of this group of people appeared, looking at the Silver Candle Divine Lord's eyes, the sense of lust is very rich, it is Ji Yin God Lord. Ji Yin God Lord is okay. At this moment, Zhang Sunziru, who had a face on his face, almost called the intercourse. Sorry, help people prepare gifts for you, so its late Jiying God Lord was holding a fist at all the cultivators of Sky Black Union, and squeezing his eyes at Zhang Sun's Iru, he smiled. Give me a gift? Help people prepare? Zhang Sun's Iru suddenly stunned. Zhang Sunjing, Zhang Sun's Iru, this is one of your oldest, the first gift for you, 10,000 Backfire Union Cultivator and 4 Divine Mystic Great Treasure can send. The 10,000 Backfire Union Cultivators and these 4 guys felt that we were eating meat with our Sky Black Union, so we decided to abandon Backfire Union and join us at Sky Black Union. Jiying God Lord haha smiles, doesn't look at the Divine Lord, like the mentally retarded child. Divine Lord, Lang surging sound, please bring out the 4 Divine Lord. Ah! Almost all Sky Black Union cultivators can't help but send out a surging sound. 4 people were taken from several monster beasts in the rear. These 4 people, all of them are 4 gods lust divine mystic great treasure can. And the 4 divine mystic great treasures, many Sky Black Union seniors present also know, blood divine lord, divine lord, divine lord. Divine lord, heavenly bear divine lord. The 4 Backfire Union divine mystic great treasures were able to be taken over and brought over. And these 4 faces, like divine mystic great treasure, can still hold a branch and insert a barbecue. Ah! Divine Lord, what the hell is going on? This time, the silver candle Divine Lord is also completely unable to resist the great treasure. Follow the Sky Black Union, have meat to eat. The 4 divine mystic great treasures were able to twitch their mouths, and then they were all more ugly than crying, saying such a sentence. Hong. In this Zhai city, all the Sky Black Union cultivators suddenly exploded. One time holding the other 4 divine mystic great treasure. What is this concept? This is equivalent to directly losing one of the Backfire Union's battle strength. What's really going on? Jiying God Lord, who is this person and you? Zhang Sun Ziru and Zhang Sun Jing, etc., can no longer help, sound transmission to the ears of Jiying God Lord, because they are also very clear, with the divine ability of Jiying God Lord, it is impossible to be these 4 people's opponent, not to mention trying to hold on to these 4 people. He said he would give you a surprise, let me know. Jiying God Lord looking at Zhang Sun Ziru and others, his eyes are also very complicated, and his face is extremely rich. Dang! The clock surging sound in the West Sea City sounded again, and someone arrived at this time. The second gift of the old is delivered, dozens of Sky Black Union cultivators, headed by a cyan monster beast, swept away, and silently sounded like this. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1186. Chapter 1186 The Look of the Year. What is this second gift? The eyes of everyone in the West Sea City are all attracted to the dozens of Sky Black Union cultivators that show their original images. The cultivation base of these Sky Black Union cultivators is very common, and only one of them is the cultivator of the Golden Core first layer. It is the cultivator of the cultivator gathering point near Bice Hailing. Just faintly seeing the outlines of these people and the cyan eagle-like monster beast, the great treasures of most of the Sky Black Union's older people have recognized the identity of the Sky Black Union cultivator. The cultivator faces of these Sky Black Unions are all red and they are very exciting. This second gift is the Divine Lord of Biming. Divine Lord Yezime of Biming also feels that we are eating meat with our Sky Black Union, and we are determined to change our former situation and join us at Sky Black Union. Among the crowds, among the Sky Black Union cultivators, the thin and dark Sky Black Union Golden Core cultivator, wearing a red robes, took a few deep breaths before saying such a sentence and reaching out. With a wave, one person was also pushed from the back. Hong. This time, even the divine mystic great treasures in the West Sea city such as Zhangsun Jing and Zhangsun Ziru can only feel the lightning in the brain of a great treasure. All the people are incredibly naked body shivering. The great treasure that was put out of the white can be clearly Divine Lord Yezaime. At this moment, the Divine Lord Yezaime of the North Ming was obviously completely shackled, and all of them were stiff, and they couldn't speak at all. They were just a look of fury and madness. But in his hands, he is also holding a branch, with a great treasure piece of barbecue. Even his mouth was stuffed with a greasy barbecue. This is where Sky Black Union feels that meat is eaten and voluntarily joins Sky Black Union. It is clearly caught and made this way. But who can live in Divine Mystic 5th layer cultivation base? What the hell is it? In the end, who has such a divine ability, and such a secret place, even Jiyan God Lord does not say? For a time, Zhangsun Ziru and Zhangsun Jing were shocked by the great treasure brain. Impossible, impossible, the most unacceptable time at this time was the Silver Candle Divine Lord. He only thought that this was the illusion of Sky Black Union, but he was the closest to Jiyan God Lord and others, and Divine Mystic, the Bloody Divine Lord and others. Breath, he feels clear. He had come to this glory, but for a while, the lust situation was completely reversed, and even the Divine Lord, one of their 4 great treasure giants, was smashed by life. Is it who? The Divine Lord can even be born, even if this person is at least true immortal's divine ability. Who has such a divine ability? Will there be so many things? Let these people take the roots and smash the barbecue. Zhangsun Ziru and Xuanhuan couldn't help but look at each other. At this moment, both of them saw each other's thoughts from each other's eyes. If it is really old, only one person in the minds of 2 people has such ability, and it is possible to do something like this. Because only that person will come up with such a flying sword, also named Screw Your Sister. Before the breakdown of Heaven's Dome, many of his books were recorded in front of him with a door panel hanging in front of him, and many fields outer heaven's demon was smoldering. Zhang Naked Ziru and Xuanhuan's naked body are shaking, and they are a little panicked. But how is this possible? How has this person been around for so many years? The 3rd gift is here. At this time, Jiyan God Lord said this again, God lust is very embarrassing. The 3rd gift. All the people couldn't help but look at the direction of Jiyan God Lord. I saw this time in the south side of Zhihai city, there was a golden light. What is it? All the cultivators in Zhihai city were once again stunned. There was a broken half of the Pang Great Treasure, which was more than 50 feet. It was dragged by several cultivators and flew in the void. Ah, the Silver Candle Divine Lord's watch lust seems to instantly give a hard step on the face, his face is flat, and it looks like the leaves in the wind, and the trembling is trembled. All the good-looking Sky Black Union cultivators in Zhihai city are hairpins, because this Ponte Great Treasure is close enough to see a lot of rune in the face, not the Shapeshift Great Art and the Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure, but a broken Great Treasure ban, requires a lot of cultivator to focus on the kind of true UN driver. Dragging the cultivator of this Ponte Great Treasure Tower below, it is also the cultivator of Sky Black Union. It is also full of excitement, and all of them are shaking. What does this mean with a broken Great Treasure Forbidden Tower naked body? This 3rd gift is 20,000 towers and treasure receiving pocket. In the invisible look of the Silver Candle Divine Lord and all the Sky Black Union cultivator, a Sky Black Union cultivator with a golden pagoda said in a trembling tone of great treasure surging sound. Treasure receiving pocket 20,000, the cultivator of all Sky Black Unions in the West Sea City is another bang. Now, no more than 200 years ago, the treasure receiving pocket is even rarer. Even if it is an empty 20,000 treasure receiving pocket, why come from? This broken tower is the Golden Crowned Mountain. At this time, the Sky Black Union cultivator with surging sound added another sentence, but here, the Sky Black Union cultivator can't be said. What? This time, suddenly a shock, Zhang Sunjing, Li Ruohe and other people all trembled to control their own atmosphere, a group of divine light as the rising sun. Golden Crowned Mountain is one of the three secret place great treasures of Backfire Union. Sky Black Union has no big treasure at all. This golden pagoda is a great treasure in the Golden Crowned Mountain. It is now broken and dragged. Is this secret place great treasure city? All of the Sky Black Union cultivators are a bit afraid to go down. Senior Zhang Sun, Li Qiang, your old man heard that you are still there, very happy. He asked you to accept these three gifts and wait for Zantai Linglan to come over. The Sky Black Union cultivator under the Golden Pagoda, after taking a few deep breaths, said the surging sound. As for who he is, he asked me to give you this piece of jade talisman, saying that you will know when you look at it, but don't surging sound. I still have to play this time. When I heard this Sky Black Union cultivator, Jiying God Lord couldn't help but roll one's eyes and yelled in the heart. But after swearing this sentence, Jiying God Lord thought about it. If I found out that I have been in the past 200 years and found that my friends are still there, I have already made such changes. Maybe I can't help but get this. Give them a surprise by the means of making use of it. All the gifts, including the broken golden pagoda, entered the Zihai city and received them. Only the silver candle divine lord was still frightened, and looked idiots and stunned, floating in the void outside the city of Zihai. Zhang Sunzairu first took over the jade talisman from the Sky Black Union cultivator. Her face was very white, and the jade finger shook a little, but just swept the jade talisman handed by the Sky Black Union cultivator. She grabbed her mouth with a surging sound of awe and couldn't help but yell. Come out! At this moment, she only felt the vertigo and happiness of a giant great treasure. This, its _crew_ first name _Commonwealth _26. Xin Yalan and Zhang Sunjing were scared by the look of Zhang Sunzairu, and the two people divine consciousness swept away, and they were unbelievably called. Then, Li Ruohe also called, and Jade Heaven Sect Master was also called. Who is this? All of the Sky Black Union's cultivators look at the distraction, ecstasy, and shock, unbelievable and many lust intercourse lingering in their own leagues, all of which are embarrassing. There is only one sentence in this note. You are not seen for more than 200 years. Don't you come here. The rest is a pair of pictures. This picture was all before the break of Heaven's Dome. It was the scene of these people in the past. It seems that some people recorded their appearance and a pair of deputies. But at the end of these pictures, there is a picture, but a golden door flying sword with a great treasure. This made all these people think about it. This is what they look like when they first saw someone. In the picture of Jade Talisman, Xin Yalan wore a hot open-work dress, sitting in a giant great treasure monster beast, walking in a city. Zhang Sunzairu is full of worship, full of small stars, the look of powdered jade. Is it that he is back? Did he actually come back? They can't believe it, but apart from him, among the entire cultivation world, who can pull the golden tower of the Golden Crowned Mountain restrictions? For a time, in the West Sea City, it seems that only the wind surging sound drifted, no one out surging sound. Shua. Suddenly, in the void of the secret place, there is another golden light that appears in time. A group of great treasures, so that everyone can see this brilliance is unable to bear the horror of inner chi, the tide is coming. This is a complete transcendence of divine mystic, true immortal chi. Soon, all people saw that it was a golden bottle gourd that seemed to rise and fall in the void, ripping out the unique space of the shapeshift great art great treasure. Void golden gourd is Zantai Linglan. Void golden gourd, I saw only the face of Zantai Linglan and the change of not too great treasure more than 200 years ago, but the body has already had a mysterious atmosphere, his body, wearing a white, dotted with the ancient shapeshift great art robe of countless stars. It seems that there is a starry sky and clouds in the body. His behind the head, there is a bottle gourd like milky white light wheel, there seems to be countless small Dao venerable sitting inside. Zantai Linglan has really been repaired to true immortal. At this moment, his entire naked body is like divine jade. There is a smile in the corner of his mouth. He holds a pink flower in his hand. He can't tell the wind and the air. Oh, it seems that my gift has arrived. Zantai Linglan saw Ji Yin God Lord in the West Sea City, and suddenly laughed, said. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 1187. Forgive you when you eat it in Chapter 1187. Zantai Linglan, not, the silver candle divine lord swallowed hard and didn't know what to say. He even felt that there was a terrifying person staring at himself. What is not, isn't it a step by step to say a few words, and if you have a 7-star step, if you want to walk away, they can't help you. Why are you afraid of being like this? Zantai Linglan thinks that the Divine Lord is not a good thing, let him say that a few words can actually scare the face to cramp. This is the effect of 10%, so that isn't it only a maximum of 8? Zhang Sun Ziru, presumably you have already heard my proposal. If you promise to be my Dao companion, I must be able to turn it into a jade between the two alliances. How do you see this fairy flower that I specially picked for you, in order to make up for the loss of the silver candle divine lord? Zantai Linglan licked his hair and put on a pose that he thought was the most demeanor. The horse said this to the West Sea City, and the unique divine light flashed. Of you, do not know if you are satisfied with these gifts for me. At the end, Zantai Linglan added the sentence. Satisfied, very satisfied. Zhang Sun Ziru smiled and smiled with red face and heart. Zantai Linglan silver candle divine lord couldn't help but swallow again, reminding Zantai Linglan that it was not what you thought. Well, no explanation, maybe I am you, maybe I will be afraid. Zantai Linglan was very great, and took a silver candle, divine lord, and told him not to talk nonsense. Zhang Sun Ziru's look made him feel a little strange, and he had seen Zhang Sun Ziru in the Battle of Khyr Guangchinj before. He did have some intentions for Zhang Sun Ziru, so he did the Dao companion, but now Zhang Sun Ziru, however, it seems that the extraordinarily beautiful, so he is really a bit completely tempted. Is this the uniqueness of Zhang Sun Ziru and the shape-shift great art? No divine lord, a silver candle, was anxious and continued. What is it? Zantai Linglan looked at Zhang Sun Ziru and was a little impatient. I can also consider your proposal for Dao companion at this moment. Zhang Sun Ziru smiled again, laughing and laughing, as if the flowers all over the world suddenly bloomed at this time. For real. Zantai Linglan stunned, and Zhang Sun Ziru really made him a little unexpected. You first pee in the way you look at yourself, then kneel down and ask for me, I might consider it. Zhang Sun Ziru also felt heart-wrenching, and he smiled very seriously and nodded. Hong. Although Zhang Sun Ziru's words are somewhat vulgar, but with the previous 3 gifts, this Zantai Linglan looks too fun. And now I can see the look of these great treasures in my own league. All Sky Black Union cultivators know that there will be no problem with at least Zantai Linglan, so all the people are laughing at great treasure. The West Sea Great Treasure will have the joy of a true Great Treasure event. You, Zantai Linglan suddenly turned his head. I have become true immortal, true immortal's cultivation base, and these people dare to laugh at true immortal together? Zantai Linglan, this is not the case. The 10,000 cent is not their cultivator, but our cultivator, and not the Ji Yin God Lord, but the bloody Divine Lord, they are 4, and we the golden treasure of the golden crowned mountains glazed tower was also broken, and even the towers were taken. Divine Lord, the silver candle, saw Zantai Linglan still unable to understand the state until now, and finally could not stand it, and screamed in one breath. What 10,000 are not their cultivators, but our cultivators? Do we send our people to give them a gift? What is not Ji Yin God Lord but the bloody Divine Lord, and the golden-crowned mountain glazed great treasure band are broken, what are you talking about? But the silver candle divine lord almost fainted. Zantai Linglan heard him say, watching him is just like watching an idiot. In addition to surprises and disbelief, Xian Yalan and Li Ruohe have already made great treasures in their hearts. Seeing Zantai Linglan is just a smile, and there is no surging sound. However, Zhang Sun Ziru's heart lust was unprecedentedly splendid, and he waved his hand. From the back of the temple, Divine Lord Yezaime, who was being held, took a picture and smiled, Zantai Linglan, your brother. Say hello to you. Yezaime. Zantai Linglan was completely stunned, and his head could not be turned at once. Zantai Linglan, the other party doesn't know what a great treasure, not only the bloody Divine Lord, but also Yezaime, the silver candle Divine Lord saw the appearance of Zantai Linglan, and it was almost crying, and the sound transmission was repeated in the ears of Zantai Linglan. What? Sky Black Union is actually able to hold on to the bloody Divine Lord. They don't count, even Yezaime is defeated, are they oysters? Zantai Linglan's a surging sound, a breath of air. Zhang Sunjing, Zhang Sun Ziru, do you have such a character in Sky Black Union, in the end is who, do not have to hide the tail, after taking a breath of cold air, Zantai Linglan Mali surging sound shouted. He came to Zihai City this time, triumphantly, completely disintegrating the morality of Sky Black Union. It is true that he wants to form Dao companion with Zhang Sun Ziru. After all, Zhang Sun Ziru could not promise to be his Dao companion, but now the other party suddenly came out. A great role, at least the peak of Divine Mystic 5th layer, and it is possible to hold Yezaime. And in this way, it is difficult for them to enter the West Sea City. There is no secret place to use. Is it that Huang Daijun, the old ghost, is not dead? Suddenly, Zantai Linglan thought of a possibility and called out surging sound. Speaking of this person is also an old man, but it is not a Huang Daijun predecessor. Zhang Sun Ziru smiles like a spring. Just he doesn't want people to know who he is, so I can't tell you. One of my old people, not Huang Daijun, who is it? A glimpse of Zantai Linglan. Baked armored meat, I don't like intercourse to eat, Zantai Linglan, your face is thick, just for you to eat. At this moment, a surging sound does not know where it flutters. Whoosh. As this surging sound came, a black dot suddenly rushed out of the distant secret place cloud and shot at Zantai Linglan, getting more and more great treasure. Pu. There wasn't much powerful energy in the shots, and the secret place was not far from Zantai Linglan's body and was directly anchored by Zantai Linglan. Everyone was stunned. This shot was actually a monster beast leg that was more precious than Zantai Linglan's, and it was just baked, and it was still hot. Hong. I don't see any action from Zantai Linglan. It's just a breath. This grilled great treasure monster beast has been shaken into fly ash, but Zantai Linglan's face is completely ugly. That surging sound came, Zantai Linglan could not fully sense the position of the opponent's naked body, even this monster beast leg, he did not find the other party's existence, the other party seems to be far beyond his perceived range. In other words, the opponent's shapeshift great art is farther away than him. Zantai Linglan is the inheritance of Void Daoist, and is also the heaven-level top-rank shapeshift great art. It has already broken through true immortal. The divine consciousness is almost twice as high as the ordinary divine mystic 5th layer great treasure. Divine consciousness is even more powerful than him. How is this possible? Why, I have baked this piece of meat for a long time. If you don't want to eat it, you don't need it. You don't give me face too much. A fluttering surging sounds again. Who, pretend to be a ghost? Zantai Linglan is suspicious and looks left and right. Don't look at it, you can't find it with your skills. Come, eat this group of things, I will let you see. A surging sound, another thing is flying. Mother Hummer, Zantai Linglan has been repairing for more than 200 years, and now it is not the young and frivolous, but when I saw this group, Zantai Linglan was once again stunned, and a purple-red divine light emerged from him and put the group of things directly away from the 1,000 feet, it became a fly ash. Haha. All the Sky Black Union cultivators in the West Sea City are once again great treasure laughing out of surging sound. This time the hidden great treasure can be called, but it is a group of old great treasure monster beast great treasure, do not know where kind of naked body type pang great treasures monster beast pulled down. The cultivator of Sky Black Union is the kind of mouse that is so unspeakable. Zantai Linglan originally came to Yao Yangwei, and the result was repeatedly ridiculed. His face was green, and the sternly shouted, the mist of the sky was rolling, the astral wind burst, and even the numerous wind blades were formed. True immortal's prestige, the world is discolored, and for a while, the Sky Black Union's cultivator in the West Sea City is all awkward, and the resting sound is a little rest. This is what you called me out, don't regret it when you get there. At this time, a surging sound sounded far and wide. A ray of light emerged from the horizon of the distant secret place, but there was a blue-robed cultivator coming from the valley. Everyone's surging sound disappeared, and the eyes of Zhang Sun Ziru and Xian Yalan were extremely eager. He is really back at this moment. Zhang Sun Ziru was like the first time I saw Wei Suo's. I felt like I was a girl at that time, and my eyes were filled with little stars again. What my old man is just a new divine mystic great treasure, can be a ghost. Zantai Linglan issued a surging sound, a sneer, and a green shirt cultivator. He first felt that the Qi and cultivator had a strong Qi and blood, and the real bone age was very young, and it seemed to be only divine mystic cultivation base. Come, you just don't give me face, eat this, and I will forgive you if you eat. However, the green shirt cultivator smiled and continued to move towards Zantai Linglan. He reached for a photo later. He did not know where it was from, but also took a photo of the great treasure group, but it was a great treasure group, at least a few Zantai Linglan great treasure small monster beast great treasure. You, okay, you are so happy to eat intercourse, I will let you eat it. Zantai Linglan couldn't stand it anymore. He reached out and grabbed the divine light, which was 5 scions, and shot it in his hand. It flashed in front of him and disappeared. Chi. Almost at the same time, these 5 light scion divine lights have already appeared in the around body of the green shirt cultivator. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1188. Lord Snowhawk. Dragon Legend. Super Soldier. Cultivation of Rain and Clouds. Budo Supreme. King Yanjai. My neighbor is a banshee. Xian Mu Legend. Boom. As soon as the spirit of Tian Yuan Shendan merged into Wei Suo's true Yuan, the 2 Shenqian incarnations in Wei Suo shook violently. This is an unusually mysterious feeling. When Wei Suo felt that the vitality of his 2 gods' incarnations was violently oscillating, and the changes occurred, the whole world was completely shaken. It seems that one mountain fell invisible, smashed another, and then one after another, countless invisible mountains, chain reaction, began to fall continuously, extending to infinity. Outside of the black light dome, Chang Sun Jing, Chang Sun Ziru, Huang Daijun, and others saw that the endless high altitude became red in an instant, an invisible, but clearly felt ripple, in it is expanding at an alarming rate. Not good. Let's go quickly, and our place may be affected. It's too late, we still have a magic weapon. At this moment, everyone changed their faces completely. The 2 elders of the elder grandson family who had been here immediately sacrificed a magical instrument similar to Deng Xiantai. Under the glory of the flash, everyone disappeared from the place, showing traces more than 10,000 miles away. The area covered by the black light dome is more than 3,000 hundreds of miles, and their location is nearly 4,000 miles from the black light dome, but at this moment, all people can still feel it, to be devastating breath shrouded in Go back. But even so, Huang Daijun and others still felt that it was not enough, and they launched the escape with all their strength, and rolled back Chang Sun Ziru and others. Sky tribulation has already started. Brother Wei has launched a heaven tribulation. The heavenly tribulation that hasn't been attracted by people for thousands of years has been moved by Wei index. And in a moment, all of them had completely stopped breathing, and the shock of their hearts could not be described in words. They saw that the huge valley where the black light dome is located was the center, and the sky was thousands of miles away. It became a dazzling ruby-like color, and the whole sky seemed to become a huge ruby. In the endless high altitude, it is like there are tens of thousands of ancient dragons breathing, roaring, a roar that is indescribable at all, roaring in the high altitude. Pieces of red sky fire with the same size as the door panels, dense and dense, turned into countless dazzling trajectories in the sky, and they fell down like rainstorms. This kind of scene is unimaginable. What's going on? Is there a fairy soldier born? Why is the earth vibrating so much? What secret has it opened? Is there a star falling? At this moment, not to mention Huang Daijun and others, even the monks near Yunling Continental Sky Vault, at least 7 or 80,000 miles away, felt amazing changes. For a while, countless monks couldn't help being attracted. They were all shocked and desperately rushed in this direction to see what happened. Inspire the circle. At this moment, Wei Suo took a deep breath and shouted at Wang Wei and Su Shengxiu, etc. At the same time, Wei Suo himself inspired the Sifang Yunja Ban, and there will be at least 1,000. The water demon pill and elixir came out at once, like countless pearls, densely suspended outside him. Buzz. Ding ding. Sifang Great Forbidden was launched by Wang Wei and others. 4 huge beams of light rushed out of the 4 directions of the black light dome with countless rotating slap-sized light symbols. Countless slap-sized light symbols scattered like spattered fountains open. The Sifang Cloud Realm Forbidden that was left before the fall of the elder grandson of the grandson family was also launched, and countless dazzling light patterns and tides flew from the void likewise. The thousands of water demon pills and elixir shot by Wei Suo almost broke up in an instant. At this moment, the heaven tribulation has been completely ignited by him, but at the same time, he also broke through the 4 levels of Shenqian. At this time, his 2 Shenqian incarnations also seemed to become 2 huge horse honeycombs, and there seemed to be countless tricks opening around the body, desperately drawing vitality. What happened? How could there be such an amazing fluctuation of vitality? In the ancient temple, the original power of the aristocrats was ready to start a new era. In one breath, he fell from the sky to the endless abyss. All of these excited roars are endless, and the invincible aristocratic powers are all horrified at this moment, and they can't help but look up. At this time, the layers of indigo blue gods surrounding their ancient temple had not completely dispersed. When they looked up from the inside of the hall, they could only see the top of the hall, but they still carried huge ones one by one. Head. Because all of them felt a terrifyingly huge gas machine. Boom. 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 At this moment, countless meteorite-like skyfires have burned everything around and hit the black light dome. The speed of each piece of skyfire is unimaginable, and each piece makes a deafening sonic boom, and although each piece looks originally pure red, but it bursts on the black light dome and explodes, but it brought out countless golden flames. This golden flame is the real fire of the stars and the real fire of the sun. For a time, on the black light dome, bursting out how many fire do not know, like countless fire lotus blooming. Damn, this is not the big band set up by the kid. It's heavenly tribulation. This kid provokes heaven tribulation. It was at this moment that the apparently headed 8-armed Huangnang suddenly reacted and yelled. What, heavenly tribulation? In an instant, almost all the powers of the aristocrats were sweating. The powers of these barons are almost all of the cultivation practices above the true immortals. Among them, Several of them have also experienced the sky tribulation. And whether it's true fairy or sky tribulation, this is the pinnacle of the power of these barons. In the deadly tragedy, and the seal of 60,000 to 70,000 years, which of these barren powers dare to say that they still have the magical power at their peak? And even if there is 50% combat power, the situation of the power of these aristocrats at this moment cannot be sustained at all. It's like an old candle, which is lit slowly, and can still breathe, and there may be a chance to find more wax oil to add, but if the fire burns out at once, it may burn out completely in a few times. Don't undo the ban. Hurry up to reinvigorate the ban. I didn't know which power of the barbarian suddenly screamed. No, only the first time to go out and kill the kid, otherwise we may not be able to withstand the prohibition here, and our situation at this moment, affected, who can know where he is going out? At the same time, there were other screamers who were screaming in panic. With so many barren powers in a hall, at this moment, they were completely in a complete panic, and no one knew who to listen to. In the black dome, Wei Suo suddenly looked up. The entire dark black light dome, in an instant, reflected countless red light spots. Pap. 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 In a breath, the black light dome was pierced by countless fires, and an unimaginable red current, shocked with horror heat. It is true that the record is correct, this is really a fire and cloud disaster. Heaven and earth's vitality is so disturbed to such a point that even their consciousness is completely distorted. Very good, so they can't come to kill me. This unimaginable terror rushed down, and Wei Suo took a deep breath, but instead showed some surprise on his face. Heaven and earth are completely furious. His consciousness can only cover the surrounding area of nearly 100 miles. For more than 100 miles, everything seems to be distorted. Under such circumstances, those aristocrats can rush out, and I am afraid that it is difficult to quickly find his specific location. And this is just the beginning. In the next moment, within 1,000 miles, it will be completely filled with all kinds of power. Don't build this place, the powers of the barons and the powers of the barons now, don't disappoint me. After Wei Suo whispered the sentence, he immediately reached out a hand and sacrificed a stone ball first. The general thing about this stone ball is that he has already obtained the divine phoenix stone pill that can be used specifically to resist sky fire. This kind of sky fire that gathers the real fire of the stars and the real fire of the sun, coupled with the high altitude impact from nowhere, the amazing heat brought with it can melt even the finest gold of high grade. They will all be burned, and it is impossible to resist by relying on cultivation as hard resistance. Now, the only thing Wei Suo hopes is the imposing prohibition left behind by the power of these barbarians. Almost as soon as the black light dome was broken, Wei Suo's heart flashed a few times, and all the ancient copper-colored palaces seemed to be resurrected at the same time, emitting light. One light dome and one divine light rose into the sky, as if countless square gods had metamorphosed into the sky, facing the endless sky fire that poured down. I'm not. Wei Suo was taken aback, because in the ancient copper-colored ancient hall closest to him, there was a terrifying breath of true immortality, rushing out of a phoenix-like divine light, almost swept him. Of the two other ancient temples closest to him, one was a dark green brilliance, forming a plume of dark green light, as if a giant stick was poking towards the sky, while the other bronze-colored ancient temple was emitting. The azure blue brilliance formed a light mask, covering a radius of nearly 100 miles, enclosing Wei Suo and Wei Suo's array. In the place where Wei Suo was, 3 defensive magic circles were arranged, and 3 layers of aura light shields covered him. The azure blue mask issued by this ancient copper-colored temple did not have any effect on Wei Suo and Wei Suo's prohibition, which is equivalent to adding a huge mask to Wei Suo's body. For a time, Wei Suo only saw countless brilliant rays of light rushing out of this huge valley, sweeping over the sky and colliding with the sky fire. The dense and overwhelming sky fire was only able to fall for a short while, and the whole valley has now arisen out of unknown auras, and a few skyfires can't form a threat at all. He has already sacrificed the divine phoenix stone pill, and at the same time, more than 10 other magic weapons and magic weapons that can be used specifically to resist the skyfire have also been taken out, but the current situation seems to be unusable. Watching the show in general. Dear wives, dear friends, you will come out soon to see the play. After stunned for a moment, Wei Suo stretched out his hand like a dream, woke up, and made the Dazuhua heavenly vase offering, and pushed it towards the top. If any chapter content is not displayed, please visit to read. Tip: you can search for 0.academy00sy or 00sy in Baidu to visit this site. The site address is. To facilitate reading this book next time, you can click Add Bookmark below to record this reading record, and you can directly read this chapter next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Remember that the more updates you share, the faster. Mobile phone users, please visit. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 1189. Chapter 1189 True Immortal in Hand. AIDS _crew first name Commonwealth 26 IDS crew first name Commonwealth 26. This is not only the Silver Candle Divine Lord on the Backfire Union side, but even the Sky Black Union cultivator in the West Sea City is almost completely mad. A real true immortal, was it blocked by a monster beast great treasure? If this is recorded in the classics, all the people who see it will probably think that this is simply absurd and not to the extreme, and then the 18 generations of the cultivator ancestors who wrote the classics. The deceit is not so deceiving, and does not pollute the IQ of later generations. What is true immortal? It is a time to look forward to in any era of the cultivation world. Even if there is a more powerful great treasure, you can play a real true immortal without any help. The level of great treasure can be so leisurely, so there is no great treasure character, but also play monster beast great treasure. This is not a self-destructive identity. It is like a great treasure. People play mud, play house. Haha, however, Zhang Sun Ziru is laughing haha great treasure, laughing without a ladylike style, laughing like the one that was the little girl who was a little girl. If it is the same as the legendary great treasure, the idol is not her idol. Xian Yalan couldn't help but laugh. This is the style of Wei Suo's. When she first saw Wei Suo and the young master who even remembered the face, she was still fooling around and betting. Wei Suo is now the style of the Spirit Peak City little swindler. Zantai Linglan was terrified, very hurt, and tangled. He was terrified because how could a person who had already fallen for 200 and a few decades suddenly appeared in front of himself? How can this person not die? Die. 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 Zantai Linglan hopes that Wei Suo will die, and this moment is echoing in her mind. What hurts him is that Wei Suo's first hit is almost his life, and the second punch is that he feels that his stomach has been broken. It is estimated that there will be such a punch again, and his fairy Yuan will not work at all. What he is struggling with is whether he should first spit out this group of things in his mouth. Wei Suo is not far from his own front. This distance is not a distance to the other party, and the divine consciousness and attack speed of the opponent is really asking people whether this god has any reason. This spit is going to take a little bit of time, so when thinking in my mind, Zantai Linglan feels that she should not waste any time and origin chi, let the group of things in her mouth. Anyway, it is just a monster beast great treasure that is compressed like a stone. It is not a poisonous thing, not a golden core. Shua. A surging sound, so everyone only saw his body flashing, his mouth stuffed with that group of things, void golden gourd, which had always disappeared, and appeared under him. You are jealous, but what can you do with me? Zantai Linglan, who was holding the stuff in his mouth, looked at Weisuo's, and Void Golden Gourd flashed him in the first place. Pu. A control Void Golden Gourd broke into the void, and Zantai Linglan finally spit out a good thing in her mouth and licked her mouth. Mother Hummer, I want to let me eat it, it is not spit it out. Ah, but at this time, let him win the mouth of the great treasure, inhale, and almost directly smothered a group of things that had just been spit out. At this time, he saw Wei who broke into the void. Suo smiled. Why, I thought it would be fine to hide as before. Just as Wei Suo smiled so slyly, Zantai Linglan suddenly felt that the void of Void Golden Gourd was like an invisible wave. At this moment, Zantai Linglan had a kind of Wei Suo to see the feeling of himself and Void Golden Gourd through the void. Shua. Among the voids where he and Void Golden Gourd are, there is a raging white divine fire. Overwhelming, full of the void. This white divine fire, which is filled with the whole void, can melt even the divine iron, which is the most pure and pure sun true fire condensation. Ah! Zantai Linglan's hair was once again erected, and a layer of milky splendid light emanating from his body, against the white divine fire. Can your true UN be endless? At this time, Zantai Linglan can't hear Weisuo's surging sound, but with Void Golden Gourd's unique powerful energy, Zantai Linglan can see Weisuo's every move. From Weisuo's mouth shape, he sees that Weisuo is now the sentence to him. This time, Zantai Linglan's mentality suddenly collapsed. To be honest, there are some medicine pills in his body. True UN can support it for a while, but the white divine fire inspired by Weisuo is pervasive. With an invisible wave that he can't touch, it is actually penetrated. His splendid light fired toward him and Void Golden Gourd. Just between this breath, he already felt that he was going to be burnt into a roast duck. Ah! With a screaming scream of a surging sound, Zantai Linglan escaped from the void with a fiery scent. Shua. Void Golden Gourd was directly reached by him and hit Weisuo, while he was desperately trying to escape. He did this by trying to use White Golden Gourd to attract Weisuo's attention so that he could distance himself from Weisuo. Oh, Tathagata Divine Glow is still useless to you. What can you do to resist the great treasure that divine consciousness has scored? Weisuo, this is Iron Heart, not Miss Zantai Linglan. From that net sand space out, no more than 200 years passed, Zantai Linglan unexpectedly salted fish after, he accept cultivation net reed heart sword, the rest of the time is all in cultivation paradise divine fire, as early as a few days ago has paradise divine fire to realize, for is to let Zantai Linglan did not do shapeshift great art ran away. Now, the small tricks like Zantai Linglan are not a threat to him. At the moment, regardless of Void Golden Gourd, it is a direct blow to Tathagata Divine Glow. But what made him unhappy with the surging sound was that his Tathagata Divine Glow hit didn't do anything to Zantai Linglan, and there was an invisible powerful energy that blocked his divine consciousness. However, Weisuo did not have the slightest leisure, still the Heavenly Emperor sense-destroying eye, and then the void-walking step shapeshift great art step, and then directly to the side of Zantai Linglan. The reason why he wants to ignite the Heavenly Emperor sense-destroying eye is to make people recognize the void-walking step shapeshift great art. During this time, he found that it is really wonderful not to let people discover their identity. At least the other party will not hear who they are and who is like a great treasure enemy, preparing a great treasure heap to deal with. There are also some guys who feel that they are eating themselves. The result is that they are not themselves after the opponent. The look of the face is also very cool. For example, now Zantai Linglan. Now Zantai Linglan looks at Weisuo, is a messy three-pointer, 3-point madness, 4-point fear. The face of the god lust is like a grocery store. To be honest, in the past 200 years, Zantai Linglan has also realized the power of many shapeshift great art. After breaking through true immortal, shapeshift great art powerful energy is still far exceeds Weisuo. If you know Weisuo's true identity, and Weisuo if you open the distance, you can still use the shapeshift great art powerful energy to force Wei Suo to keep in touch. But he was wrong. He wanted to take Wei Suo to his side and was close to Wei Suo. Now, there is no shapeshift great art to get rid of Wei Suo. Pa! A surging sound is blasting. Wei Suo has no hesitation at all, and it is the simultaneous evolution of the shapeshift great art field and the antiquity ominous fire shapeshift great art field, which has reduced some of the true immortal powerful energy inspired by Xantai Linglan. The sly squatting is in the heart artery's secret place of Xantai Linglan. Although Xantai Linglan has broken through to true immortal, even with such a heavy blow, there is no shapeshift great art at all, and a surging sound of, a group of blood and spirits rushing out from the mouth, just like it was a ball that was completely punctured, and his true immortal divine light shook and disappeared. Seeing that Xantai Linglan completely lost his resistance, Wei Suo was certainly welcome. He reached for a few guanghua and entered the naked body of Xantai Linglan and made several restrictions. After these several restrictions, Wei Suo feels Xantai Linglan now true Yuan than his own more tyrannical sum, also not insurance, simply and again scored 2 only I heart sword, in Xantai Linglan naked body inside a twisted, will Xantai Linglan naked body of some of the main meridians all twisted into a beach of mud, all feel Xantai Linglan vitality all appear exhaustion, he just rest assured clap clap, great treasury work, true Yuan a rap, will Xantai Linglan caught up. For the speed of Wei Suo and Xantai Linglan, this is a matter of 1 or 2 breaths. All the Sky Black Union cultivators in the West Sea City, including the Divine Lord, which is not a flea, not a flea. Seeing the white light shining in front of the world, the white light disappeared, and Wei Suo had already stood in the void with Xantai Linglan. And Wei Suo has changed into a brand new ordinary Saiyan shapeshift great art. Would you still follow the meat of Sky Black Union? After catching Xantai Linglan and reappearing in everyone's eyes, Wei Suo looked at Divine Lord, a silver candle trembling in the void, and said something like this. Nice. Nice. I am eating meat. The silver candle Divine Lord also completely collapsed. I only thought that Wei Suo was terrible than the legendary domain Outer Heavens demon, and even the legs were completely soft. Let's go. Wei Suo glanced at the silver candle Divine Lord, but he smiled at Zihai City. You haven't seen each other for so many years, don't come innocent. This time, the rest of the cultivator in Zihai City is still in a complete shock, but Zhang Sunjing, Zhang Sunzairu, Li Ruohe and others who have secretly known the true identity of Wei Suo are no longer able to endure. It was surrounded by Wei Suo. Big brother Wei, where have you been for so many years? Zhang Sunzairu has a heartbeat, Jade face is red, but the surging sound is already choked. Over the past 200 years, she has also been used to countless life and death, has become a divine mystic 5th layer great treasure, but this time I saw Wei Suo live in front of myself, but also cannot help but lust surging sound. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1190. Lord Snowhawk. Dragon Legend. Super Soldier. Cultivation of Rain and Clouds. Budo Supreme. King Yanjai. My neighbor is a banshee. Xian Mu Legend. It's like 2 people smashing things with each other to see who consumes more energy. Moreover, if you smash it, you can save your life, but if you smash it, you will die. If you know that the general magic weapons and magic instruments are of extraordinary rank, you can only support them for a while, and you can't care about your heartache. Now the huge golden platform that Wei Suo sacrificed was used by Xuanhuan Sun in his usual appearance. The monsters that used to pull this platform had not been released in the battle of the Huangtiandao mountain gate before. It was smashed into fly ash in the slave's pouch, and only this magic weapon was left because of the damage of the Nabeo pouch. This magic weapon itself also has the power of more than half an order, but Weizhuo came out, the volume is large, and more than 10 lightning beams bombarded it in a moment. This magic weapon can't bear it immediately, and it was beaten apart and fragmented everywhere. Fly down. Fire Jiao Qi, Qing Long Streamer, give it to me. Wang Wei, you have anything with a strong body on your body, leave it to me. Wei Suo screamed depressively, and pushed a red flat ruler and a long streamer made of blue fine gold silk thread up. Originally, most of Wei Suo's magic weapons and magic instruments were all on Jia and others. Fortunately, after this time he laid down Huang Tiandao, all the magic weapons and magic instruments of Huang Tiandao were collected by him, and from Huang Ting's own ETAL inside the door, he also took a lot of magic weapons and magic tools, so now he can burn the magic weapons and magic tools of the carcass like firewood. However, in the present situation, of course, the more things that can be used as firewood for a while, the better. The two things Hua Jiao Kai and King Glongban are also the magic weapon of the Xian order middle class that Wei Suo scraped from the Huangtiandao mountain gate, but when excited, the fire element on the Hua Jiao Kai just turned into a fired xiao. See, before going up to drill out of the ruler, it was immediately shattered by the thunder fire flooded outside, and the same was true of the Qing Long streamer. Qing Guang did not form at all. Papa, it seemed like the rain hit the plantain, but it only supported the time of 5 or 6 breaths. The fire Jiao Kai and the Qing Long streamer were immediately shot into fly ash. The fire Jiao Kai and Qing Long streamer broke, and Wei Suo, who had already prepared for it, immediately hit another 5 thunder circle and Vajramethraya. The two magic weapons were also obtained from the Huangtiandao mountain gate, and just now Wang Wei and Wen Sushengxiu and Tourmaline sect master were called by him, they also contributed 5 magic weapons. It seems that after Huang Daijun and others refined them all, they still left some magic tools and magic weapons on them. Well, and while hitting the two magic weapons with good carcasses, Wulei Circle and Vajramatra, Wei Suo's brow jumped. He felt that at this moment, with the mad thunder, many stars had already breathed out. Wang Wei, sovereign of Tourmaline sect, you help me hold the Dazushan forged bottles. Sushengxiu, you are responsible for inspiring these magic weapons to resist, pay attention to it, just like me, no one can be wasted. At this moment, Wei Suo immediately made a difficult decision, reached out a little, took out at least hundreds of magic weapons and handed them to Sushengxiu, and at the same time immediately stretched out his hands and performed the dragon body quenching technique. Next, if Lei Hai, who was terrified outside, didn't look at it, some people would see Wei Suo's scene, and they might laugh outright. Because Wei Suo is busy dying, he is still in the Shenqian breakthrough, when the Shenqian incarnation desperately in the vitality to grow stronger, and at the same time he wants to make the flesh stronger and a little bit, and he also needs to perform the dragon star quenching technique to draw the world. Vitality, at the same time not worrying about Sushengxiu's blood, fearing that Sushengxiu wasted or not taking good care of these ancient temples around, so Wei Suo shakes his hands and throws thousands of water demon and elixir, and then puts a dragon scene cultivation, after a while stop to look at Sushengxiu, pointing, busy as the wind. The time for these 9 days of thunder is coming. Suddenly, Wang Wu gave a voice to Wei Suo. Wei Suo suddenly felt a sigh in his heart, and stopped the practice of quenching the body of Tianlong Kungxing first. Previously, because he could not accurately judge the time, Wei Suo explained to Wang Wei that he had calculated the time. Sure enough, Wang Wei's voice hasn't disappeared for a long time. The lightning bolts of the buckets that have been sloping down in the sky have been sparse, but the thunder in the cloud above is denser and louder, just like I don't know how many kings are striking the drum inside, and the ground is shaking. Wei Suo knew that the next violent sky and thunder must be fierce. He glanced at it quickly, but he was a little surprised. There were still more than 40 pieces of magic weapons and magic weapons left in Sushengxiu's hands. Although the magic weapons and magic instruments were burned like firewood, anyway the ban around him was kept, and the original 25 pieces of magic weapons and magic instruments that were originally intended to be used to resist this second round, except for the 10 used at the beginning in addition to 1, the remaining 14 were not used, and all were saved. Boom. That is, after a dozen breaths, the dazzling unimaginable light clusters dragged down along fireworks densely from the high altitude, and all the light clusters that made people feel stingy with eyes were all enough. The size of the grinding discs are all polymers of Jushinligang and Tianhuo. Very good, brothers of the Baron, thank you so much. At this time, Wei Suo made another strange call, because under a huge earthquake on the ground outside the valley was completely cracked, and they all burst out of countless black fire, condensed into a head of strange things, flying everywhere. But the ground in this valley, except for the constant shaking, is at least not cracked. From the records obtained, Wei Suo has long known that this round is a thunder and fire. Not only does the sky drop a terrifying thunder ball, but also the underground fire veins will be triggered, spraying countless black flames, and up and down attack, making the monk seem to sit. It is more difficult to resist Tianwei on the erupting crater. In the past, Wei Suo had already put a ban on a town in order to prevent this round of Tianwei, but from the current situation, this place of the Baron, in itself, it is equipped with a more clever suppression air than he arranged, which makes the strong iron plate of the ground veins underneath. Sushenxiu, stop. But before he was too happy, Wei Suo's eyes could not help but bulge. The two magic weapons that Sushenxiu successively sacrificed were just rushed by a thunder ball, which melted directly like ice and snow. Underground black fiery flames spread out, the heat has been unable to resist the general magic body, and the thunder ball is also containing the skyrocketing heat of amazing heat. The magic that has just resisted for a while has already started. It has no effect. This kind of pervert, in the end let people live. There is really no way for Wei Suo, but he can only use the 14 things he saved and the 21 things he saved at the beginning one by one. At this time, although Wei Suo could only sense up to 100 miles around him, but the harsh sound of the iron burst and collapse continued, and he knew that there must have been many collapsed ancient copper palaces in this valley. There seems to be no other way for this round. You can only rely on the use of these magic weapons and magic weapons specifically to resist sky fire and sky thunder. Then according to the record is the fall of the meteor star, many of the emptiness in the sky above 9 days. The meteorites were dropped by the vitality and broke through the atmosphere. The meteorites descended from the sky, mainly because of their extremely powerful penetrating power. Each one is like a magic spear thrown by a demon. All are left below to resist this meteoric sky. Between the lightning flashes in Wei Suo's heart, he decided to completely abandon this round of the plan to save as much as possible the magic weapon and magic weapon used specifically to resist the sky tribulation, and to save the 35 magic weapons and the original plan specifically. All 31 magic weapons used to resist this round were handed over to Sushenxiu, and Sushenxiu was paid attention to and used just like before. He himself was fully committed to supplementing the vitality needed for the phase change of the divine profound Dharma and using the dragon body quenching technique to extract the vitality of the stars. The concentration of the star energy has been so amazing, the change of Shenxian is so mysterious. Wei Suo feels clearly that the star energy that is now flooding this area has exceeded the concentration of Feng Wukang's full power to activate the concentration of the star energy, and the concentration of the star energy is still increasing at an alarming rate. This is a thorough feeling that 9 days outside and the ground are connected. In this way, there is no need for the entire sky tribulation process. Only 2 or 3 rounds of Wei Suo can practice the dragon body quenching technique as now. His physical cultivation must be there will be amazing growth. And the most mysterious, only Wei Suo can experience it. The previous record about the heavenly tribulation did not mention at all star vitality, and while these star vitalities are strengthening the divine profound Dharma body, it seems that it has also greatly delayed the process of the divine profound Dharma body's absorption of vitality. Before Wei Suo, whether it was Jin Dan breakthrough or Shenxian breakthrough, the breakthrough of the vitality when entering the territory was amazing, forming a world of different phases, but it was only a short time, but now Wei Suo is faintly feeling that he himself the breakthrough of Shenxian. I am afraid that it will last as long as the entire heaven tribulation, and it will last until the end of heaven tribulation. Resisting heavenly tribulation, this is the enemy of heaven and earth's will, compared with heaven and earth's consumption, but invisibly, this breakthrough and heavenly tribulation are in step with each other. It is to deliberately suppress him, in case his magical power rises a lot after he breaks through, and the success rate of resisting heavenly tribulation is higher. The time for thunder and fire was about the same today. Wei Suo did not know how long it had passed. Suddenly, Wang Wei heard a voice again. There is only so much left. Wei Suo just looked at Su Shengxiu, and immediately swallowed hard. He added 31 to 35 of Su Shen's blood, a total of 66 artifacts, and now only 9 pieces are left. If any chapter content is not displayed, please visit to read. Tip: you can search for 0.academy00sy or 00sy in Baidu to visit this site. The site address is. To facilitate reading this book next time, you can click Add Bookmark below to record this reading record, and you can directly read this chapter next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Remember that the more updates you share, the faster. Mobile phone users, please visit